Alright, and we're loading up on this map right now that you've just described in full details. We oh, we see spawning in the bottom left corner of Entombed Valley. He is up 1-0 as my scoreboard just disappeared. I'll get it back soon. It is the red Protoss VanCaspel.
Yep, and here in the top right is the blue Terran player iznobest. Probably didn't expect the last game to play out as it did, so he's got to recollect his thoughts and come up with a plan B to take the series back, because if he loses this would be another 2-0 in the knockout phase.
Yeah, so I think so far all the games in the knockout phase have been 2-0s. I didn't see the very last series last Friday, but everything else was a 2-0, I believe.
Yep, and that was a 2-0 as well. So all games in the round of 16 were 2-0s. And yeah, iznobest has got to try his hardest to make sure it doesn't happen to him as well. Of course, with him just being one league above VanCaspel, he should be quite in a position to be able to do that. And maybe he's just got to go with a little bit of a safer build this time around. Not as economically focused as last time, but at least then he'll be able to deal with any early game shenanigans that VanCaspel can and properly will throw at him.
Yeah, in interviews after the last game in the round of 16, VanCaspel said that he thought he would just lose directly to iznobest. He didn't really think he had a chance. So he's got to be pretty excited now that he has the first game in the pocket and has some actual good prospects on taking the series.
Yeah, it would be quite interesting to end up with Frank not only have to organize the live finals, but actually being a part of the player base on June the 7th. So let's see if he can actually pull through and manage his time at the 7th, or
I think he'll have to clone himself.
Well, we are at the university, so everything is possible over there.
SCV for iznobest coming through the mineral line of VanCaspel. VanCaspel sends a couple probes to try to get surround. Does not get it, and the SCV manages to get out without too much injuries. It does sneak around the edge. It went to the ramp, indicating to VanCaspel, I'm going home, not going to do anything sneaky, but now it's hiding at the edge of the base, out of sight of VanCaspel, so it may dive back in later to get a second scout, which is of course very nice to get that after a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at VanCaspel's vision. There's only a sliver of shadow or fork of war, as we know it, in that corner of the base, but iznobest found it, and it would give him a very nice opportunity to get in a sneaky scout later on. Yeah. And iznobest thinks, well, I'm not seeing a reason to deviate, so he's once again going for the fast expand with on one barracks bunker being added, Marines already streaming in to get into the first position, and this would be a little bit more beneficial for iznobest. And now already I see why one reason why I could have picked it, because of course in daybreak the fight at the bunker would be an even ground, but this time around the units from VanCaspel will be coming up the ramp, so of course vision will also be a great part in that engagement. And yeah, iznobest now gets himself into a position that is to his advantage, and Frank as well going for the expand with 2 more gators coming up, so he's once again going to try a 3-gate attack, but I think iznobest is now thinking, well, trick me once, shame on me, shame on you, and trick me twice, shame on me. So he's hopefully not going to fall for that, or this will be another 2-0.
And an interesting thing that VanCaspel did is he scouted. The first scout he did was with his first 2 zealots, and that is very risky, because if iznobest would have taken a couple units like 3 Marines or a Marine and a Marauder across the map to VanCaspel's base, because iznobest scouted with an SCV, he knew where his opponent was. He could have hit the base while the zealots were just out scouting in different corners. So that was a bit risky, but iznobest went for an economic opening and didn't do something like that. But it could have gone differently. Now we see the second bunker coming up for iznobest. More Marines being rallied down. and the army for VanCaspel is just moving around back and forth, maybe waiting for 1 or 2 more warpins before he goes. But when he goes now, there are already 2 bunkers available on the high ground. Oh, and iznobest just decides to salvage his bunker just as the push from VanCaspel comes up the ramp. SCVs being pulled, Marines being microed back against the Zealots, force fields blocking repairs on the bunker. Some SCVs now coming into repair, and the bunker does go down.
That is not great for iznobest. He managed to sneak in 1 Marine into the natural VanCaspel, so it's at least going to be a little bit less income, so a little bit less units for VanCaspel.
All SCVs being pulled now for iznobest, now trying to take on the forward pylon. If he can get that out, take that out, and a lot of the momentum from this attack will be gone. But he doesn't manage to do it. Goes in for the second round. More Marines joining in. Only a couple of the SCVs now buffering. The rest of the SCVs going back to work, and the pylon goes down. And with that, this attack has been thwarted.
Yep, nice play there by iznobest. VanCaspel tried the same tactic again, but of course it wouldn't work twice on iznobest. So iznobest is now, after having thrown back the attack, he lost quite a bit of SCVs. If you take a look at the income, we see there's now on equal footing as far as workers go. But of course, iznobest playing the Terran will eventually take the lead back again, of course, by virtue of mules. And he's now also adding marauders and combat shells, so iznobest himself is now looking to gear up for a bit of a push.
That Marine you mentioned in the natural of VanCaspel managed to take out quite a few probes. A total of 6 workers were killed by iznobest to the 5 killed by VanCaspel. So even though VanCaspel forced a pool of SCVs and managed to get some kills there, the little counter-attack from iznobest did manage to keep him on equal footing in the worker counts.
Yeah, I was about to say that, because that Marine was sent by iznobest. It looked like he was just scouting for proxy pylons, and little did iznobest know that the proxy pylon was right at his doorstep. But instead, Marine found something better. There was an undefended base from VanCaspel, and it only was after
we have an engagement here on the ramp of VanCaspel. Force fields go down, but the Marines managed to get around it, and now iznobest is moving forward. Units for VanCaspel are going down. Here comes the next warpin, some Zealots only. Probes being pulled, Marines are trying to get microed back. Zealots are almost down. Some probes are falling, and VanCaspel retreating back up the ramp. Marines moving forward again, and I think we will see the probes being pulled soon once more, but I guess VanCaspel will wait for an additional warpin, sacrificing this pylon to buy him some time, and iznobest decides that with this couple of probe kills and killing the sentries and the pylon, he will move out back to base.
Yeah, and the killing of the sentries is of course the biggest thing in that engagement, because Guardian Shield and Force Fields are both things iznobest would rather fight without than with. And now he's gearing up for another attack. Stim is over halfway done, so let's see if he goes for a timing attack with it. And VanCaspel 3 doesn't have much at the moment.
No, he lost a lot of units, expensive units as well, and he lost a couple more probes, so his income is again lower. I think this will be a bit of a mistiming for iznobest as he's pushing up just before Stim finishes, but I think he just has enough. He focuses down the Immortal, now there's just a handful of Zealots and a single Stalker. Zealots will all fall, Stalker tries to retreat, pulls the probes once again, but there's just so much bio. I think there's a bio unit for every probe here, and that's not good news for VanCaspel.
Yeah, it looks like iznobest is in a great position here to take back the series. Lots of bio already has been killed from iznobest, but if we look at the supply, it's only 27 left for VanCaspel. He has almost no income whatsoever. 2 Stalkers are left to go after these last 4 units from iznobest, but Stim is done. Combat Shield is coming. There's another expansion coming. There's a starport coming. There's an engineering back coming. +1 is already on the way, so iznobest has everything he could have ever wanted, and VanCaspel is just desperately trying to claw and scratch his way back to even a reasonable
43 SCVs against 23 probes right now. Iznobest is up to 28 workers killed in this game, so and a supply difference of 50 almost, 83 against 36, no 38 for VanCaspel, as iznobest pushes up the ramp again. Lots of sentries there, but the force fields are a bit too late. Stim goes down, and the army for VanCaspel is just being crushed once again. Probes are being pulled, but VanCaspel says GG, well played, and that concludes game number 2, and we have our first 3-game best-of-3 series in the live playoffs.
Yeah, so we're gonna go into a deciding game for both sides, so I'm really excited about that.